all the stocks that we play in and most of the listeners and followers of ours are interested in are getting hit hard today.
This has been the concern that's been, in the market for a while now. You're seeing the 10-year treasury yield now at 1.85%, which is the highest it's been in a couple of years now, actually. There was a survey among institutional money managers basically saying, what are you doing with your funds? Investment in growth stocks among professional money managers, at least according to this survey, was at the lowest level seen since December of 2008. Yet the perception among those same managers was that growth stocks, or tech stocks technically was the way that it was phrased in the survey, but that tech stocks were the most kind of overplayed investment thesis right now. So there's this huge disconnect, it seems to me, in the perception of growth stocks being kind of overvalued, whereas in reality, if you're looking at the metrics, a little bit more objectively and what people are actually doing, they're actually underallocated right now relative to historical levels. So that gives me some confidence.
I can't wait for the big tech company earnings to blow out, do well. And I feel like that's the real backstop to fundamentals that, institutional money will realize. Speaking of Tesla, Elon's going to participate on the earnings call.
I do think there's going to be meaningful announcements about kind of the developments of Berlin and Austin. I suspect there's going to be a decent amount of discussion around full self-driving in that rollout. Last time I remember Elon talking about the Roadster, he was basically saying, it would really make sense for them to prioritize Cybertruck over the Roadster. The whole idea of kind of licensing their technology or their manufacturing to other car makers is really exciting, because that would drastically move the needle.
And they recently made that kind of update on Dogecoin, selling products in terms of Dogecoin instead of dollars on their website. You saw that, right? So
yeah,
there's an outside possibility that this product roadmap has something to do with Tesla's integration with mining or Dogecoin. Every earnings call, every battery day or AI day is really a huge benchmark in history in my mind. We just released an interview on LMND. It's at like a $2 billion market cap right now. I mean,
they got 1.1 billion in cash and 2 billion of market cap. That's kind of crazy.
This is a good example of these tech growth stocks really getting repriced, and at some point someone's going to see the value, I would think.
In my mind, at this stage of the company's growth, the thing that matters more than anything is like customer growth rate.
Rocket Lab, what are we thinking to look for?
One will be kind of more continued commentary on this acquisition spree that they've been on.
Within the space industry story, we view Rocket Lab as one of the actual producers. They're actually sending things to low Earth orbit like SpaceX, and there's no one else doing that. The big news today, I think, that affects Roblox and is keeping it from going down with the rest of the NASDAQ is the acquisition.
It wouldn't surprise me if Roblox is kind of the biggest mover after earnings.
We just decided overall, there's no easy way to hedge Tesla directly. The puts are so expensive. Plus, it could trigger wash sales if you're holding things for long-term gains. And I am not a fan of Robinhood's valuation. I mean, I think the company does a great service to the public.
Well, given kind of just the string of delays out of Berlin in particular, I'm kind of getting. I had been slightly more bullish than I am now. So I kind of think 1.6 maybe. If things execute pretty well, 1.7 is more realistic. 5 to 7 years is a pretty long time frame. And in my view, they solve autonomy and are operating some sort of robotaxi fleet in that time frame. In that case, I would say north of $3,000, maybe closer to $5,000 per share.
Is what I'm saying is, I don't know enough to put odds on it. I think for GDP to decline for two quarters in a row, I just don't see that happening this year.
I mean, clearly their viewpoint on that sort of reshuffling is that they think there's more upside potential from here with their kind of 5-year price target methodology that they use for those names relative to what it had been for Tesla.